What if one simple habit, completely free, requiring no gym membership, no special equipment, and no prior fitness experience, could transform your body from the inside out? What if the single most powerful thing you could do for your long-term health was already built into your biology, waiting to be unlocked? Today, we are going to explore exactly what happens to your body when you commit to walking 10,000 steps every single day, and the science behind it will genuinely surprise you. The 10,000 steps goal has become one of the most widely recognized benchmarks in modern health culture. You see it on fitness trackers, hear it from doctors, and read it in wellness articles everywhere. But where did this number actually come from, and more importantly, what does the research say about what it actually does to your body over time? The origin story is more interesting than most people realize. The 10,000 steps target was first popularized in Japan during the 1960s, coinciding with the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. A Japanese company released a pedometer called the Monpake, which literally translates to 10,000 steps meter. The number was chosen partly for its cultural significance in Japan, where 10,000 is considered a symbol of completeness and good fortune. What began as a marketing concept has since been validated by decades of serious scientific research, and the findings are remarkable. To put 10,000 steps in perspective, the average person takes somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 steps on a typical sedentary day. 10,000 steps equates to roughly 5 miles, or about 8 kilometers, depending on your stride length. For most people, reaching this goal requires about 80 to 100 minutes of walking spread throughout the day. Now let us break down, system by system, exactly what begins to change when you make this commitment consistently. Starting with your cardiovascular system, the benefits begin almost immediately. Walking is classified as moderate-intensity aerobic exercise, and your heart responds to it in profound ways. Each time you walk, your heart rate elevates slightly above its resting state, which forces your cardiac muscle to work harder and grow stronger over time. Studies published in the American Heart Association journals have shown that people who walk 10,000 steps daily reduce their risk of cardiovascular disease by up to 35% compared to those who walk fewer than 5,000 steps. Your blood pressure begins to drop within just 2 weeks of consistent daily walking. The vessels in your cardiovascular system become more elastic, your resting heart rate decreases, and your overall cardiac efficiency improves measurably. This is the equivalent of giving your heart a daily workout without ever setting foot in a gym. Your metabolism is the next major system to respond. Walking at a steady pace burns approximately 300 to 400 calories for most adults covering 10,000 steps, though this varies significantly based on body weight, terrain, and walking speed. What makes this more powerful than the raw calorie number suggests is the effect on metabolic rate. Regular walking increases your mitochondrial density within muscle cells, meaning your body becomes more efficient at converting fuel into energy. It also improves insulin sensitivity dramatically. Research published in Diabetes Care found that consistent daily walking reduced insulin resistance in participants with prediabetes by up to 58%, more effective than many pharmaceutical interventions. Your body begins processing glucose more efficiently, storing less as fat and using more as immediate fuel. Speaking of fat, let us talk about body composition changes. Walking 10,000 steps daily does not deliver the dramatic rapid changes that high-intensity interval training might produce in the short term, but its long-term effects on body composition are genuinely significant and more sustainable. Over 3 to 6 months of consistent practice, most people lose between 5 and 15 pounds of body fat without any dietary changes. More importantly, the fat loss tends to concentrate in visceral fat, the dangerous fat that surrounds your internal organs. Visceral fat is directly linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. Walking specifically targets this type of fat because it relies predominantly on fat oxidation as its fuel source during sustained moderate exercise. Your musculoskeletal system undergoes significant adaptation as well. The major muscle groups in your legs, your quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, and glutes, all experience consistent loading stress during daily walking. This stimulates muscle maintenance and, over time, moderate hypertrophy in sedentary individuals who previously did little physical activity. Your bone density also increases in response to the repetitive impact forces of walking. This is particularly critical for older adults, as walking consistently has been shown to slow osteoporosis progression and reduce fracture risk by up to 40% in postmenopausal women, according to research from the National Osteoporosis Foundation. Now let us explore what happens beyond the physical, because the changes walking produces in your brain are every bit as profound as those in your body. When you walk, your brain releases a cascade of neurochemicals that fundamentally alter your mental state. Endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and brain-derived neurotrophic factor, often called BDNF, all increase during and after walking. BDNF is particularly fascinating. Scientists sometimes call it miracle grow for the brain because it literally stimulates the growth of new neurons and strengthens existing neural connections. Regular walking has been shown to increase the volume of the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory and learning, by approximately 2% over 1 year, effectively reversing age-related brain shrinkage by 1 to 2 years. The mental health implications are equally powerful. A landmark study from Stanford University found that walking in natural environments for 90 minutes reduced activity in the subgenual prefrontal cortex, the brain region associated with rumination and depressive thought patterns. Participants who walked regularly reported significant reductions in anxiety, improved mood stability, and better sleep quality. Walking 10,000 steps daily has been shown in multiple clinical trials to be as effective as antidepressant medication for mild to moderate depression, with 0 side effects and 0 cost. This is not a fringe claim, it is the emerging consensus in psychiatric and neuroscience research. Sleep quality deserves its own focused attention here. When you walk 10,000 steps daily, your body accumulates what sleep researchers call adenosine pressure, the natural biological drive for sleep. This buildup of adenosine throughout the day means that when you finally lie down, your body transitions into sleep more quickly and spends more time in the deep, restorative stages of sleep. A study from the Sleep Research Society followed participants over 6 months and found that those who achieved 10,000 daily steps reduced their time to fall asleep by an average of 17 minutes and increased their time in deep sleep by 34%. If you have ever struggled with insomnia or restless nights, consistent daily walking may be one of the most powerful interventions available to you. Your immune system also responds strongly to regular walking. Moderate exercise like daily walking increases the circulation of immune cells, particularly natural killer cells and T lymphocytes, which are your body's primary defense against both infections and cancerous cells. Research from Appalachian State University demonstrated that people who walked 30 minutes or more daily had 50% fewer sick days from upper respiratory infections compared to sedentary control groups. The immune benefits appear to stem from both the direct stimulation of immune cell production and the reduction of chronic low-grade inflammation, which is now understood to be the underlying driver of most chronic diseases. Chronic inflammation is worth dwelling on, because it connects virtually every benefit we have discussed. When you are sedentary, your body maintains elevated levels of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, interleukin-6, and tumor necrosis factor. These circulating inflammatory signals damage blood vessel walls, interfere with insulin signaling, disrupt neurotransmitter production, and accelerate cellular aging. Walking 10,000 steps daily has been shown to reduce C-reactive protein levels by an average of 32% over 12 weeks. This systemic reduction in inflammation creates a biological environment in which healing, repair, and optimal function become the default state of your body rather than the exception. Let us also consider longevity directly.